Hello there. What is going on, everybody? It is Thundercats time. I am going to be unboxing the latest from CMON. It is the Zombicide Thundercats packs. If you didn't know, I am a massive fan of the 1980s classic Thundercats, and even though this is not the depiction of the Thundercats classic, these are the 2011 remake. Still very, very cool to have Thundercats in modern tabletop gaming, and for one of my favorite versions of Zombicide, my absolute favorite version of Zombicide, which is the Zombicide Black Plague or the Zombicide Fantasy version. And we have the Thundercats that you can play in, and honestly, I think these are probably playable in just about any version. You just might have to make sure you make the cards fit and and just have fun with it. I mean, I've got the Ninja Turtles that I'm going to totally use in Zombicide Black Plague version 2. It'd be pretty cool to do Ninja Turtles teaming up with Thundercats, because they're kind of similar, right? Like, both have nunchucks. Ow! All right. So we're going to unbox these. And little admin stuff. We're still doing our giveaways. 12 Days of Life Day. Lots of giveaways all month long. And the lightsaber giveaway, that one's running through New Year's. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos to enter to win any of those awesome giveaways. Also, check the links in the description below for social media, Discord. Join our family-friendly gaming Discord, as well as all kinds of other links. Patreon, if you're interested in that, Crabbok.com. All kinds of cool stuff. Let's dig into these awesome packs. Ho! First things first, we're going to start with Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Sword of Omens. Give me sight beyond sight. Show me what is in this box. Ha ha ha. All right, we've got... Wait a second. I don't see Chitara or Snarf. Snarf, Snarf, but Lion-O. What's the matter, Snarf? All right, so we've got, they were underneath there. All right, nicely designed pack. We've got a lot of cards here, but I believe they're multiple languages. If we look on the back of the box, we're gonna see we've got stuff for multilingual packs. You're gonna have way more cards than you actually need, but just the 4 miniatures, we've got Lion-O, Chitara, Snarf, and Slithe. And of course, we're gonna look at all of these cards. Let's look at the miniatures first. Oh, I can get him out of here. Hold on, let me fast forward until I can get him out of here. All right, let's start off with Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Gaze upon me. I, Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats, command it. Here he is. He's got that claw shield. He has the Sword of Omens, fully extended, or at least mostly extended there. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. I kind of haven't been painting a lot of my CMON minis lately because I kind of want to get them straight onto the table, but I feel like I'm going to have to make an exception here. He's a good sculpt, man. Like, CMON just makes good stuff. They just make really good stuff. Here's the back. And I honestly want to use this guy in more than just Zombicide. Like, I want to use these guys for... I don't know, for everything, for Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I might just have like a D&D party encounter the Thundercats and just be like, yeah, well, that's happening. So there was a portal. That's how they got here. Let's deal with it. He's got Born Leader, +1 action, Destiny. If you roll a 6, he gets an extra die. Woo. Free combat action for red. Brother in Arms, which is a new one. They have the keyword card for it right here. Brother in Arms basically gives you basically use that skill and you give other people the same benefits, so you can give everybody in the same zone as you an extra die in combat, which is really cool. And Lion-O also has, now granted, there is some special equipment cards, and there's a whole lot of them, and they're all in different languages, and so I'm not going to look at every single language because they're all basically the same. So I'm just going to go for the English versions today, since that's what I can read and speak. So that would be probably better. But we've got the Sword of Omens and the Claw Shield. Now, I plan on, if I'm playing these guys, I'm planning on just starting them with this stuff and kind of upping the difficulty, because it says you can just shuffle them in, but I really don't want to just shuffle them in, and I don't want to have, somebody on roller skates picking up the Sword of Omens and be like, okay, cool. It's not thematic enough for me. Although it would be kind of funny to mix up like the Ninja Turtles and have like Leonardo use this sword and him use like Leo's katanas, and like swap nunchucks and swap bow staffs and things like that. It could be kind of cool, but outside of that, I plan on just having them start with them. So he's got the Sword of Omens there, which you can look at the top card of any deck. Again, using Sight Beyond Sight. And then you can pull a zombie, arrange one into your zone, which is also going to work well since he's melee, and you can also give people in your zone +1 die in combat. So and it can be any zombie too. So if you needed to, if you had a a really strong weapon, you wanted to give somebody else an extra die with it and pull an abomination into your zone or something like that. Pull Mumra closer and make him gaze upon his own reflection in the claw shield. Next up, we've got Snarf, Snarf. But Lionel, why don't I get my own claw shield? No, Snarf, it's not yours. Don't you understand? You're just the sidekick. Oh, Snarf, Snarf. We've got Snarf here. He doesn't have any special stuff. He's just got to hold your nose +1 action. He also has Brother in Arms +1 die in combat, which is only orange for him, which is really strange that he kind of gets that bonus before Lionel, but it's cool. I mean, I guess I don't see why two different Brother in Arms abilities wouldn't stack. So if you had him and Lionel together, you could potentially give everybody +2 dice in combat if Lionel was in the red and Snarf had at least been in the orange. You can also gain Slippery, which is a great ability, Lifesaver, Lucky, and a 6 to a +1 die in combat. Next up, we've got Cheetara. Cheetara is looking awesome. She's got her bow staff here. Let's take a look at the Cheetara mini. She's got the wild and awesome hair. And she's got like the wooden bow staff. It's not like the perfect one, the one that's perfectly straight and kind of metallic from the show. This one is a little bit more natural in its look, or it depends. I mean, they're both from the show, right? It depends on if you're talking about the newer one or the classic one. And so, but yeah, so she has this slot may hold Cheetara's bow staff instead. Of course, I'm going to start. Gains the jump skill, so you can start with that. She's going to have sprint, +1 action, blitz, charge, 2 zones per move action, slippery, and zombie link. So lots of thematic upgrades for her to make her fast and mobile. And of course, this pack wouldn't be complete without Slithe. Yes, the Thunder Kittens wouldn't get on this without me. Yes, but for plunder, I will win the game. It's so strange too, because this isn't like a PvP game, but you totally can still make it competitive if you just try to say like, all right, whoever has the most XP wins, and so that makes it, of course, that ramps up the difficulty tremendously. Now, Slithe is actually a beefy kind of miniature here. He looks awesome, and of course has that big axe, and he looks good, man. He looks really good. I'm digging you, Slithe. I'm digging you. All right, so Slithe is going to also have Born Leader. +1 action, +1 die roll, +1 a dice roll for combat, Bloodlust melee charge, Frenzy combat, Barbarian, and he can hold his battle axe, which 6 will be 2 damage. So it's a 1 damage weapon, but it's a 2 damage if you roll a 6. Of course, it can open doors and all that stuff well. And he's rolling 5 dice for it, so it's almost like a chainsaw. Well, he hits on a 5-up. He rolls 4 dice, hits on a 5-up. Okay, very, very cool. And that's it for this pack. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next it's the Panthro pack, or pack number 2. This one, hopefully it comes with that blasted Samoflange. We've got Panthro in there, we've got Tigra, we've got Jackalman, and Wily Kit and Wily Cat. Oddly enough, Monkeyan did not come in this, any of these sets, and I feel like maybe they shouldn't have had Snarf, and they should have had Monkeyan instead, because you kind of need like all your classics, and Snarf is cool, but like Monkeyan is part of the original trilogy of like bad guys, right? It's like Slithe, Jackalman, and Monkeyan. I mean, you eventually have like Vulture Man and then a couple of other, and then like the Lunatacs, and you get all the extra stuff, but like he's OG villain, and he's not in this pack. But you got Snarf, Snarf is OG also, but he's OG like support character, So interesting. All right, I'm gonna get these all out. All right, first up, it is my man Panthro, and I am so happy to have Panthro, my favorite character of all time. And here he is. He's got the nunchucks under his arm. He's got the fist in the air. He is ready to crush. I was initially like, oh, they made this guy more of an old man Panthro, and they gave him like the mutton chops and stuff like that. I wasn't initially super crazy about like when the show came out with him, but he was still pretty cool. And they did some weird stuff with him in the show too. I don't want to spoil the show if you guys haven't seen it, but yeah, he underwent some changes, and still pretty cool. Still a cool character. Love him. So he's gonna have tough, +1 action, battle rage, taunt, melee, free melee action, ironclad walker, and super strength. He's also super smart. He's also a genius. He doesn't get the Thunder Tank in this, but maybe there's room for future expansions, right? I wish CMON would do a Thundercats classic game And like I had this whole idea of like you play as everybody but Lion-O. And Lion-O is out there like getting into trouble, like it's like kid Lion-O, like a young Lion-O, and he's out there. When Lion-O's out there getting into trouble, you have to go rescue him and all of that cool stuff. And so anytime he shoots with the Sword of Omens, you have to stop what you're doing. But like you're trying to gather like Thundrillium, you know, for it to power the Cat's Lair, you know, and maybe whoever gets the most Thundrillium wins. But every time the Sword of Omens lights up, you're like, crap, I gotta go, blah blah blah. And the longer it takes you to get there, the less you also get points for helping Lion-O. I don't know. Anyway, it's just my elevator pitch for like a classic Thundercats game. Anyway, he can hold Panthro's nunchucks. It's weird that they gave him 2 Panthro's nunchuck, right? Like it is so weird because I get that. I think they just wanted to make it a 2-handed weapon, and I guess that makes sense this way, you know, because you know you kind of need 2 hands to properly wield nunchucks. You can do them one-handed, but he does it in a 2-handed style. Michelangelo, on the other hand, does it in like a 1-handed style, but he runs 2 of them. Two sets. So this is like think of it as a chain between these 2 cards. It was a very clever implementation. And I believe this slot can hold both of them because it says this may hold Panthro's nunchucks instead. Well, Panthro's nunchuck, it's not chucks, and this is Panthro's nunchuck. So I believe that if you've got this, you basically double it, right? And then so you've got 2 of them, and 1 die for each. So this would become a 3, and then so would the other one. So you'd roll 6 dice, hits on a 5 up. Pretty cool. And then he's got another ability that's also pretty awesome called Battle Rage. When he kills something, it talks about it right here. Here's the little help card for this one. You've got Brothers in Arms already, but you got Battle Rage, so you're going to gain an extra die every time you kill a zombie, and then you're going to gain. You kill a zombie with the next attack, you gain another die on top of that. So, and with 6 dice, man, he just wants to run in and just start thwapping people. And then you also have double casting spelled out here, which we're going to see on our next card, which is going to be Tigra. I'm going invisible, Lion-O. Follow me. I will teach you the way. So Tigra is there with his bolo whip. He is jumping. Tigra had a very different implementation on the show too, where they were like brothers, and they kind of had this the sibling rivalry too, which was really interesting and very different than Tigra and Lion-O's relationship on the classic cartoon, which was more like we have no problems at all, you know. So, which was, I guess they tried to make it a little more realistic. So Tigra has Tactician, +1 action, max range, double casting. That lets you, again, if you get an enchantment, again, Zombicide Black Plague has magic, right? And Tigra is kind of mystic in his way. You get to choose an additional target. So that's cool. So you get to basically cast twice. +1 to die roll magic, which is going to also work with all that. Shove and Spellcaster. And then he's got the Bolo Whip, spend an action, and you can have a zombie at range 1 can't activate this turn. So you can tie somebody up, and of course that can go there. All right. Next up, we're going to do a double feature. We've got Wily Kit and Wily Cat. And so first off, let's do Wily Cat. There he is. A little rascal, always getting into trouble. And then with their little boards, although I don't think they had the surfboards in the new show, so that wouldn't have been appropriate for this one. But of course, the surfboards were pretty cool because Panthro made them some boards based on their ship, which they used to kind of fly all over the place. All right, Wily Kit is low profile, an action, sprint, trick shot, free move, free range, and slippery. And then Wily Cat has hit and run, low profile, marksman, 2 zones per move action, slippery, and zombie link. They both get slippery, which is pretty cool. It's funny that like this one's slippery is here, this one's slippery is there. I wonder where the placement of them kind of factors into some of that. They also have 4 copies of their kits and bombs and capsules, and basically they can discard and they're all the same, right? They can discard them to make pick a whole zone, and zombies in that zone don't activate. So they kind of throw a smoke bomb in, and that can be really cool. But it's like it's limited. I like how it's expendable. They get 2 charges. They can, but then they're out of, once they're out of stuff, they're kind of vulnerable, right? So like very, very clever implementation. I love the way they did that. And then last up is Jackalman. Yes, Slide, I agree with you. The Thundercats are as good as kitty litter. That's Jackalman, right? doing all my voiceover impressions for Thundercats now. All right, +1 die melee, +1 action, brother in arms, plus die ranged, which is going to be interesting considering he uses an axe. He's got the charge, +1 free melee action, roll 6 to have an extra die, and then shove. Shove being an incredibly good action. All right, and last but not least, it is the Mumra Pack 3 with a Necromancer and Abomination and 6 mini cards. And we've got, ooh, yes. Now this is, you're not going to be a hero with either of these characters. That's why you don't see any of the big cards. These are adversaries. These are enemies. You're going to fight against Mumra. You don't get to play as Mumra with these. Although, of course, you could always homebrew your own if you wanted to. Plenty of people can come up with their own solutions for these. Let's get these guys out of here. All right, so we've got Mumra, and we've got 2 versions. We're going to start with the Necromancer, which is really cool. He's going to basically kind of be a standard Necromancer. Here he is, kind of walking on the board.
So, the Thundercats think they're going to play Zombicide, do they? Isn't that right, Marmot?
Yeah, and so he's coming out, and if you pull one of his cards when he's already on the board, then he's going to transform into Mumra the Ever Living. Well, actually, they call him Mumra the Undying. Was he Mumra the Undying in the remake? He's always Mumra the Ever Living to me. But either way, yeah, here he is. He is really cool. Big ol' abomination-sized miniature, and it's funny because he's like literally a zombie, so he was, he's very appropriate for Zombicide. But yeah, so he's got, he gives 5 XP, like he's kind of like a standard abomination, right? He takes 3 damage to destroy. He deals 2 damage. He gets 2 actions. So he's a little fast there. He's got range 0 to 1, so he can attack at a little bit of range. So a little more dangerous than a standard abomination. But he also has special rules that he will move towards the Sword of Omens as opposed to just moving towards the nearest hero. So you can certainly kind of manipulate his movements that way. All right, that is about it for the Thundercats, and I am so excited to have these finally. I've been waiting for these for so long, and then they just kind of went up. I ordered them from the Asmodee store, and it was like a pre-order, and then like I guess they shipped like same day. So they arrived much sooner than I thought, which is awesome. I'm super glad to have them, and I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching this today. Overall, I think they look great. I love the thematic design that went into them. My only complaint is that we didn't get like the full team. Like we're missing Monkey in, which would have made the mutants feel a lot more complete. But maybe that could be a pro. And I feel like maybe Snarf could have been omitted in place of Monkey, and I feel like that would have been more of a well-rounded set. But sometimes it's nice to, or I was maybe hoping that like Monkey would be like a pre-order bonus, like he would have been a separate thing or something like that if you bought all 3 together. Maybe they'll come out with him at some point. But then there's room for other stuff, like you could certainly do like a Jaga and a Monkey and Mamut, or well, again, I'm leaning back, I'm pulling much harder towards the Thundercats classic representation of the Thundercats. So maybe I'm not, maybe it's just fine the way it is. But either way, that's just some of my initial thoughts. But overall, that's very, very minor criticisms. It's a beautiful set. The minis look great. I love the way CMON does their minis. They're you don't have to build them. They're already ready to go. You can play with them right away. You don't have to, and they're all color coded, so you don't even have to worry about painting them if you don't want to. Although I probably am gonna paint these because it's like my favorite franchise of all time, right? Like this was my first beloved franchise as a kid, was Thundercats Classic. So super happy to have these guys here. Also, we are doing 12 Days of Life Day giveaway, and I do have a winner for today. Today's winner is going to win something from Star Wars Legion. It's going to be for a Republic Specialists pack. So congratulations to Clayman Films. You have won. Go ahead and shoot me an email over at mailcrabbok@gmail.com and remind me what you won and let me know your shipping information and all that good stuff, so we can get that out to you. If you did not win this one, don't worry. Patrons get a chance to win anything that goes unclaimed. I give everybody 30 days, and after that, it goes up into, it'll roll over and do Patreon giveaways. So It's another way for me to thank patrons. And of course, we have more giveaways coming, so plenty of time left to enter to win more stuff. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much. Happy holidays. May the force be with you. And Thundercats. Ho!